Beloved modern funk bassist, singer-songwriter and soul musician Thundercat has just released his latest album Distracted, and it might genuinely be the best work of his career. He's talented, he's creative, he's versatile, he's a great bass player, and he knows how to make a catchy melody, but I felt like Thundercat has never been able to capitalize on these strengths to their fullest extent across multiple consecutive tracks on a full-length album as much as he did on Distracted. The album just delivers an impressive handful of hits with very few misses, to the point where it may even be the strongest hit-to-miss ratio of any Thundercat project. I mean, even the shorter tracks deliver enough greatness for them to feel longer than they actually are, and reward a lot in their brief runtimes, like Candlelight for example, the opening track, which I did admittedly find underwhelming at first, but has quickly evolved into one of my favorites due to the psychedelic funky rollercoaster of synths that the track goes through. It makes me feel like I'm entering through a wormhole, which is a fitting sensation for the beginning of this album. Every time I put this song on, I always find myself catching something new despite how short of an intro it is. Walking on the Moon is also a moment that is brief and enjoyable. It has a really cute tune to it with lovely synths later coming in, though I do wish the instrumental overall had more life to it, even if it is one of the better songs here. But still, its psychedelic chill night sky vibes genuinely do make me feel like I'm walking on the moon. It's like each track here takes you to a different imaginary scenario. Many of the guest artists that Thundercat brings to the album do enhance the enjoyment of each of their respective tracks too. Lil Yachty, for example, fits perfectly with the groovy vibes on I Did This To Myself, reminding me a bit of what he did on Let's Start Here, but in a funkier context rather than psychedelic rock. It's to the point where it actually makes me want to hear him create a full neo-soul funk album one day. His voice feels naturally suited to the instrumental, and he brings plenty of humor and personality. There are even moments where he makes quirky and weird vocal sounds that somehow just work, and the song also includes one of the best bass lines I've heard all year thus far. It's so ear-grabbing and full of flavor. Mac Miller's posthumous feature on She Knows Too Much is also unsurprisingly amazing. Unsurprising since he always had a deep appreciation for the genres of R&B, funk and soul in general, so a beat like this is a perfect fit for him. Mac is like the cherry on top of this song. He delivers his usual smooth flows with his iconic, chill, laid-back, very comfortable voice over an instrumental that is just full-on Stevie Wonder worship. The worship continues with the backing vocals that Thundercat brings. If it weren't for the hip-hop twist that Mac brings to the table, this would be the most songs in the key of life sounding track on the album. And I have to mention No More Lies with Tame Impala. Despite them coming from completely different musical backgrounds, their shared love for psychedelic music shines through in the best ways on this song. I love the contrast between their voices, and I don't recall there being a chorus on the album more addictive than the one on this collaboration. The only collaboration here that I genuinely thought was unnecessary was A$AP Rocky on Funny Friends. It's so short and he delivers such a lack of anything interesting that I fail to see its inclusion. It doesn't even tie in lyrically with the rest of the song, but to be fair, whether or not Rocky was on the song, the chorus is too weak for it to be a memorable moment in the tracklist anyway. It's also one of the 3 tracks here that actually suffers from its short runtime. Great Americans would be the second one, even though a part of me is fond of the fun vibe that it has. Like, you can tell from listening to Thundercat's voice that he had a lot of fun making that track. I just wish there was at least a switch up or something to make the song more interesting. It just remains the same throughout, and since the beat and vocal melody are each not strong enough on their own, the lack of progression makes it one of the weakest moments on the album. The third track that I would say suffers from its short runtime is the album closer, which I will get into later in this review, but more highlights are dished out right after Funny Friends, with What Is Left to Say being a genuinely beautiful ballad that has the modern soft rock legends the Lemon Twigs and Thundercat singing together to create this euphoric, sunshiny, feel-good bop. The vocal melodies in this song feel like something straight out of a Lemon Twigs track, while the instrumental unmistakably carries Thundercat's signature sound. Despite the Lemon Twigs and Thundercat coming from 2 different musical worlds, they both share a contagiously feel-good and joyous sound that is elevated when they fuse together. Though the song is not as lyrically feel-good as it is sonically, as it comments on someone hiding their personal feelings within a relationship, but beyond the best guest performances on the album, Thundercat also delivers highlights on his own, like on I Wish I Didn't Waste Your Time, which has a melody so hypnotically addictive that it's easy to see why it was released as a single. I can easily get lost in the world of this song. Thematically, it feels like a continuation of the previous track, with Thundercat apologizing for overstepping and wishing he had never wasted this person's time, likely within the context of a relationship. I can see how this heartbreaking scenario could explain why someone might hide their own feelings in a relationship, as explored in What Is Left to Say, out of fear of ending up in the same situation that I Wish I Didn't Waste Your Time reflects on. Anakin learns his fate is a groovy, smooth, chill jam that finds power in its simplicity, and if there's anyone who can make a song so relaxing and laid back while making it revolve around a topic as nerdy as Star Wars, it is Thundercat. It's like the Dragon Ball durag of this album in that sense, and I find Pozole to be a standout moment in the back end of the album, stepping away from the grooviness and funkiness of the other cuts and being this beautiful piano ballad while still maintaining that psychedelic reverb heavy sound that runs throughout the record. However, there are also tracks that don't do much for me. You Left Without Saying Goodbye follows a similar path to Pozole as a soft piano ballad as well, but it just doesn't land. The instrumental is less engaging and Thundercat's performance feels less compelling as well. I mean, compared to the way the album began, it feels especially more underdeveloped and underwhelming as a closer, and as much as I enjoy the romantic and cute vibes on Thunderwave as well as the aquatic take on this neo-psychedelia sound, which is pretty strong on the production side of things with all the splashes of water and some ambience in the mix if I remember correctly, I just find Thundercat and Willard's performance over this instrumental to be pretty repetitive and the tune is fairly forgettable. It's a snooze fest overall and it doesn't progress into anything all that captivating. I feel like if you cut the song in half, it wouldn't really change the enjoyability factor of the track all that much. I also find this thing we call love to be a pretty bland take on a love song. Even if it is not the shortest song here, it does feel like an extension of an interlude in a way because of how unprogressive it is. I find it to be a pretty run-of-the-mill, by-the-numbers, nothing burger take on Thundercat sound, but as far as complaints go, it doesn't really extend beyond that. Like, this is a really solid, great album from him. Some of his catchiest tunes, most flavorful instrumentals, best bass lines, and most genius selection of guest artists all land on this album. And considering that Thundercat has never struck me as an album's artist to begin with, I'd say Distracted was worth the wait.